There's a difference between your intuition and your inner saboteur. And this is the main difference. And this is how we're going to start this video. Your intuition is very silent and your inner saboteur screams at you. A lot of times people can't tell the difference. How do I know the difference between my intuition and saboteur? Yes, I'm not the biggest fan of religion or whatever. But for me, I believe in symbolism. And there's symbolism in every practice. And the Holy Spirit, quote unquote, is your intuition. It's the truth. And anytime I've seen it described in any sort of passage in the Bible, it's quiet. And it takes a certain amount of mindfulness. It takes a certain amount of being someone who taps into themselves, who can reduce the noise of doubt, pain, anxieties, and all these things that we're conditioned into, to hear her or him or them. Hear what she's saying to you. Intuition will whisper to you. And intuition is in the gut. And saboteur is also in the gut. But it's in your gut. It's that feeling, it's that reason, it's that thing that you just know. You just know. It's in your soul, it's in your spirit, it's in your bones. You just know there's something wrong with this person. You just know this is what I'm supposed to do. You just know that I'm not supposed to do this. You just know I'm supposed to do it this way, that way. I don't know who did that song, but you just know that it's supposed to be this way. And you don't have any explanation behind it. You just know. It's a knowing. And the thing about the inner saboteur, you're always kind of, I don't know, I'm not sure, because that's not you. Usually your inner saboteur is not even you, it's something other people have said. For me, I don't think generally I'm an insecure person. Most of the insecurities I have that irritate me is stuff people have projected onto me and been like, oh yeah, you shouldn't wear that, you shouldn't do whatever. But that's how you know it's that inner saboteur. Most times it's not anything we kind of concocted ourselves. It's the inner projections of other people that we then have to let go of or put aside, or then we just have to make sure that they're not relevant. We reduce the volume because oftentimes you can't get rid of those voices in your head that tell you those things. But you can silence it. You can get that volume control and control how loud it is and control the space that it takes in your life. I'm going to read from this, so I'm going to make eye contact with you soon. But it says, intuition feels calm, it feels clear, and it's grounded. Sabotage feels anxious, urgent, and chaotic. Let me tell you something. In life, one thing I'm always kind of go with the flow. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm not very that's not me. I'm very like, it's chill, let's just like go into like live our lives and just do whatever. That's me. But there is that sense of urgency. Intuition can be like, you in danger, girl. It can't. And that's real and that's true. But oftentimes, if it's getting you, like, let's say, for example, let's use a euphemism. You need to get married to him. You need to marry him now. You need to do whatever. There is no rush on marriage. There's no rush on children. There's no rush, what's it called? Anything that has you kind of not being in partnership with divine timing and knowing, okay, this is my timing and whatever. That in your intuition, babe. And if it's deep in societal values and patriarchal values and white supremacist values and all these kind of things society conditions us to have, I hate to tell you, that's not your intuition. Intuition will usually go against what society has to say. But that's why a lot of people don't understand their intuition. Everyone has that intuition. You just know, and we just have those things we don't know. And it's funny with science, it has you thinking they're just facts and things and knowledge you need to go. But with intuition, I always resented it because as a huge psychology person and fan, before I discovered Carl Jung at least, I always thought when people were talking about their intuition, I said, oh, crock of shit. I just thought they just have a like hyper observation and they just have this stuff and they don't have the word to describe it. To a certain level, that is true. But the thing is, as psychology talks about the subconscious brain, there's just aspects of our consciousness we can't necessarily just draw in. It's true, that's just science. We can't just be like, why do I know this? Why is this something I know? Even if it's something that is an experience maybe we've forgotten, a deja vu moment, whatever, it's not always something that is like, okay. But if it has to do with what society has to do, what your mom says you should do, what your auntie said you should do, what your dog says you should do, absolutely not. The most beautiful aspect of intuition, even though we're human beings and we're social animals or socialized in one way or another, your intuition is you. It's you. It's spirit speaking to you, but it speaks quietly. It's calm. It's clear. It's not. And the best part about intuition, it doesn't have you coming to question it again. It's something that the questions that come with it, it's a question answer. It doesn't deflect. It doesn't go about confusing you. Usually your intuition is very clear, and that's why it's very easy to ignore it and be like, "Hi, leave him. No, I don't think I should." It's just like, leave him. Yeah, leave him. It doesn't do like gra gra. And I used to gra gra, I'm using my Nigerian accent. One thing that my teacher used to talk about when we did literature, which is actually a huge part of why I make these videos, and like I almost got 1 mark 20 star. I love literature so much. And she said one thing that people do, or I did when I wrote, was sweet nonsense. You just write all kinds of things, and it's just like you're writing to kind of feel the words in. Intuition is very clear and concise. It's clear and concise. That's how you tell the difference. Your inner saboteur most likely will be trauma coded. It will be the voice of fear dressed up as logic. One thing, I know that we're limited. My favorite part of Wicked is unlimited. I've held that within me, and that's how I feel generally. Obviously, I have limits. Like, if I break this, I putting it back together, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I could just split on the floor and give you like a Megan Thee Stallion twerk. I don't know that. I have limits. But I feel unlimited all the time because usually the inner saboteur is fear. And it is instinctual in some ways. It's great to have fear, but like when I'm going through something that's very intuitive, like don't talk to this person and go, it's not even fear, it's just I just know it. But fear usually holds us back from doing what we're supposed to do. Always remember that. Fear can protect you, but it can hold you back. You need to be able to take risks. You need to have some sort of impulse to move towards where you're supposed to go. Sabotage holds you back. Sabotage may not necessarily destroy you. It might not be as destructive as we think it is. Sabotage may not be the kind of thing that just comes into your house and breaks things. It may be the kind of thing that makes you stay in that house and you never leave. And then you wonder in 30 years, why haven't I done anything? Why am I filled with so much regret? Not regret in the choices I make, regret in the choices I didn't make. Any conversation I have with an older person, they always tell me I always regret the things that I didn't do rather than things I did. Like Cher says, I'm gonna quote her for the rest of my life. And if she watches her videos, I'm so gagged because I have a feeling a lot of people are gonna watch me one day. But as Cher says, if it doesn't matter in 5 years, it doesn't matter. If it doesn't matter in 30 years, it doesn't matter. That's one thing I love about pop culture sometimes when you pay attention to what is going on with the celebs and all that kind of stuff. Oftentimes, the people who are media trained and know what they're thinking, like one thing I love about Beyonce, whatever, if there's a scandal, a new one's gonna come next week. No one is that interesting that people overtly pay attention to you and pay attention to your scandal. Like, there's gonna be a new hot gist. There's gonna be a new hot gist for people to talk about and people to pipe about. The tea, well, there's always a new tea. Rosemary, ginger, Lipton. There's always gonna be a new hot piping tea. So never let your inner saboteur hold you back. Your intuition will pull you forward, have you flying and defying gravity. Yes, I said it. Defying gravity. Don't ever let your inner saboteur hold you back from what you're supposed to be doing. Your intuition will propel you up into the sky, have you flying. That's what it's supposed to do. Your inner saboteur, like, think of a child holding you by the legs, being like, don't go, don't go, don't go. It's your inner child. Yeah, holding you back while the legs being like, don't go. And your intuition is your future version of yourself. Who is there? Who has that thing you want already being like, you're prolonging it. Like, that we could have had this sooner. Let's get to work. Your intuition will often tell you what you need and not what you want. Yeah. 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 Your intuition is gonna tell you what you need. And it's so hard with when your intuition is speaking to you because it will tell you need to leave a situation. And it could bring you so much comfort. I think the next point is that, so I could say it in two, I might as well say it in two because it makes sense. Sabotage seeks comfort, intuition seeks truth. Yes, that is what it is. Sabotage will have you seeking comfort, have you see, and that's the funny thing. When we think of our intuition, we think of it in a very primal way, like Freud, when we should be thinking like Jung. We think about it like intuition is supposed to tell us like, you know, like to keep away from the bad guys and stay away from pain and stay away from experiences and da 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 da. Intuition is a propeller. It's a catalyst. It has you moving forward. And sabotage will have you staying in a box, trying to keep yourself safe, trying to keep yourself safe from things that are normal like pain. Experiences will only hold you back. Let's sit down and reflect on that. Give yourself about a few minutes. You can pause the video. Truly reflect on that. Let it propel you forward. Your intuition is the truth, or it's your truth. It's your truth. There is nothing truer than intuition, especially for you. Whether existentialism is very interesting, one of my favorite philosophical concepts, because everyone's truth is different, but you are in your own perception. This is the body you're living in now, this is the life you're living in now, so whatever is true to you is true to you. And truth is almost, is not quantifiable, but life is interpersonal as it is collective. And interpersonally, the truth is your intuition. I don't care how anyone else puts it. I don't care what anyone else says. I don't care what anyone has to say about it. You can go cry about it and go home and cry. Your intuition will tell you the truth. And your inner saboteur will have you seeking comfort. Or you're comfortable in the situation that's holding you back. You're comfortable with this person that will hold you back. And it's so interesting because there's certain times your intuition is the way that we think intuition is. You see someone and you just see very, very traits where they could kill you, right? But sometimes it could be, he's just nice to me, he's not that bad, but then there's a primal thing that you need from this partner they're not giving you. That's your intuition. It's not in the way that we think it is. Intuition is one of the ways that people have intuition normally is, okay, I don't want to go into this room, I don't want to go into this thing, and then they don't go. But it could be, I'm not supposed to be in this job. I'm not supposed to be in this career path. I'm not supposed to be in this relationship. That's your intuition. Your inner saboteur will thrive in old patterns. Let that speak. And your intuition will gently disrupt them. Those old patterns, those things you used to do, that's the things that hold you back. And it's so hard for you to kind of to stray away from them because that's what you know. That's what you've done. That's what you used to regulate yourself. Bed rotting. Yeah, I said it. Self-isolation. And those things, like I said, all the coping mechanisms you've had before, all the coping mechanisms that you're living in now, they're true and they've helped you when they needed to help you. But the thing is, now you need to let them go. Now you need to move forward, and now you need to focus on becoming the greatest, best version of yourself. That is what your assignment is now, and that's the assignment I will give you now. Assignment from Auntie Ashra, telling you that you need to move forward and let those old toxic patterns go, but do so when you're ready. The greatest way to also differentiate between intuition and self-sabotage is self-sabotage will usually come from wounds, pain, overtly identifying yourself with pain. That's something anyone who's probably watching knows. Identifying yourself with struggle, identifying yourself with suffering. Maybe I'm supposed to live this life. Maybe I'm not worth anything. Maybe I don't deserve love. Maybe I'm unlovable. That's not your intuition. Because those things are not true. That's a lie. One thing I love that religious people will do, that's a lie of the devil. It is a lie of the devil because it's not true. There is no fact that says you cannot find love. There's no fact that says you can't have what it is you want. It will be harder for you. And that's why oppression and all these things and privilege are things we need to discuss. But telling yourself, I can't have these things because it's difficult, you've defeated yourself before you even started. And that's one of the points I was hoping I could get into. Self-sabotage will help you help you defeat yourself. Sometimes we look at situations and we look at people and then we sit down and we say, oh, because we're safe and everything is going well in life and everything is kind of okay, that's okay. And that's just life and that's how it's supposed to be. But when you just have that feeling of emptiness and I should be doing something more, you're spiritually destroying and killing yourself. So people wake up some days and then they just kill themselves. They don't want to be here anymore. That's what happens. That's what occurs. And then you sit down and wonder, why am I so empty? Why don't I want to do this anymore? You constantly sabotage. And self-sabotage is not in the way that you think, always in the way that you think. Like harming yourself, actively doing self-harm things. But the ways that you can harm yourself, the ways you can harm yourself is hold you back from opportunities. One of the videos I made is security or what is it? Something about imposter syndrome. I don't remember what the title was. But imposter syndrome can hold you back. Why? What? It's a lie that you don't deserve that thing. Yes, you may not necessarily be qualified for it, but people learn on the job. That's just the truth of life. You will never, it's like most people learn on the job. All most people need is an opportunity. And if you're granted an opportunity, when opportunities usually come once in a lifetime, never, ever take it for granted. Opportunities do not come slightly. And if you see that you're given an opportunity, take it. Take it. Don't ever let anyone take an opportunity. Because if it's presented in front of you, usually most of the time it's for you. And it's different. For example, maybe, there's something that's what is supposed to be given for someone else. That's where the intuition comes in. You know it's for someone else, don't take it. Intuition also will have you knowing the opportunities not to take. I know that's not for you, but if you know within yourself and you have your inner saboteur being the one that's talking and telling you don't deserve that opportunity, then sweetie, silence it. Reduce the volume, baby. Release it. Release it. The more you heal, it will sharpen your intuition and soften that sabotage. Because you trust yourself. One thing, that point I made in my last video, which I loved absolutely, is that when people neglect their own emotions, they will make you self-gaslight yourself. You gaslight yourself. You don't even know who you are. You don't even know where you're from. You don't even know where you're going. You lose that sense of self. And then you sabotage. Oftentimes, self-sabotage usually comes from a space or a period where you have people constantly doubting your worth, and then you yourself, you relinquish your autonomy, you relinquish your light to someone else, and that's why you have those energy vampires stealing your energy, stealing all these things from you, because they have you questioning yourself. Never allow the actions of someone else to question yourself. The more you heal, your intuition gets sharper. A healed person's intuition is sharper. I saw this video with this man, this very toxic man on, was it TikTok? And he was saying how to break someone that's healed or whatever, how to have a healed whatever. Evil people like that, with healing, they will trust their intuition. The reason why predators prey on traumatized people who haven't healed themselves yet, because they don't trust themselves. They can easily break their spirit. It's hard to break something that has been healed. Healing is a layer of power that can rarely ever be broken. And even if they're broken, they rise above it. So allow healing to sharpen your intuition. Allow your intuition to come through. And that starts with listening to yourself. It starts with trusting yourself. Trusting that you know how to handle your own life, especially as an adult. Trusting you're allowing yourself to make your own mistakes. You can take advice, you can take all these things from other people, but understanding that, okay, you have the final say in how your life goes. Because when you go up there, whatever it is you believe in, you can only be accountable for yourself. Even if you're a twin, even if you're conjoined twins, one soul is one soul. You can only be accountable for yourself. Follow your intuition. Allow it to speak to you. Allow it to let it move through your life. Because when you follow your intuition, that's when everything starts to align for you. And then, yes, you're going to have the negativity in there. People will project that onto you. And all of a sudden it becomes silence. And that's how you see people being like, I don't care what people think. When people don't care what people think, that's where it starts. Because they don't care. Because yes, they can project those what's it called onto them, but then the voice that is within them, their own voice, the voice that is different from what society says, the voice that's different from what religion says, the voice is different from what their family has to say, or whatever has thing that has held them back or whatever, it's quiet. And then intuition is loud. And then you allow yourself, and then you live the most freeing and the most autonomous life you can live possible. Liberty. You're liberated. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening to this video. I hope that this video was helpful. I had an issue where what I was recording was affecting the audio, so I apologize beforehand that certain aspects of the audio are a bit bad. But thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for working with me with my broke setup. Thank you so much, and love you so much. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and subscribe to my Patreon, and comment how this video has helped you, or comment pink hearts if you don't have much to say. Thank you. I love you.
The Medicine Woman.